Menopausal and perimenopausal women, listen up. It's time to take control of your health and comfort, and Winona is here to help. Winona is a telemedicine company for menopause care who believes that your symptoms are real, important, and deserve to be taken seriously. And for many women, this starts with hormone replacement therapy. Winona's HRT is made with plant-based, bioidentical hormones rather than synthetic ones, so it better aligns with your body to offer relief from hot flashes, weight gain, and other uncomfortable symptoms. 80% of women who use Winona find relief within just 90 days. So, what are you waiting for? Get started today. Visit buywinona.com today to start your free visit. With free shipping and the ability to pause or cancel at any time, your path to wellness has zero obligations. Use code SPRING24 at buywinona.com for 25% off your first treatment plan. That's BYWINONA.com for 25% off. Winona. Menopause care made easy. Summer is the season of hot temperatures, outdoor adventures, and refreshing water activities. Summer is also the season of rough on your feet, causing dry, cracked heels and toes. Introducing Babyfoot, the original exfoliation foot peel that contains 16 natural extracts formulated to remove dead skin cells in 3 easy steps. Apply the booties, relax for an hour, then wash your feet. In 14 days, you've got baby smooth skin and your feet have never been softer. Letting dead skin cells build up over time is hazardous to your foot health. Our professional-grade DIY products, like our original exfoliation foot peel, our men's foot peel, or our moisturizing mask, are some of the best foot care products on the market, created with your foot health in mind. Pamper yourself with a spa day from the comfort and convenience of your own home with Babyfoot. If you want a chemical-free, easy-to-use exfoliating process from the company that created the original foot peel, it's time to treat yourself to Babyfoot. Go to babyfoot.com and use the code SUMMERFEET24 and get 20% off your first order with Babyfoot. That's babyfoot.com and use the code SUMMERFEET24.
Hello and welcome to Too Stupid to Live, a podcast that reviews romance novels $5 and under. I'm your host / human woman, Becky Feldman, and oh boy am I excited because today's episode we are returning to my favorite planet in all of space, the ice planet, aka not Hoth. We are reviewing another alien romance that is part of the Ice Planet Barbarians universe, Devi's Distraction, by Ruby Dixon, which is currently $3.99. Okay, but before we blast off into the final frontier, as they say, I want to talk about the sponsor of today's episode, a new book from Kensington Books, which is now available in this galaxy, Afraid, a gripping anthology of 3 never-before-published romantic suspense novellas from best-selling authors Lisa Jackson, Alexandra Ivy, and Lisa Childs. Now, you guys know I love my romantic suspense. I've read all 3 of these authors' books, and so you have the Too Stupid to Live seal of approval, if you will. The novellas in Afraid are about dark secrets and revenge that are all connected at an elite boarding school where scandals are buried and secrets are hidden. Afraid is available on planet Earth, wherever books are sold, and you can get more information at kensingtonbooks.com. So today's guest is a writer, performer, podcaster, and avid Ice Planet Barbarians reader, Kate Spencer. And honestly, I feel like I had like the intellectual orgasm I needed, with this discussion of the cultural importance of Ice Planet Barbarians. I don't know what I'm saying, but all I'm saying is this episode will fill you with nothing but happiness. So please enjoy this review of Devi's Distraction. Well, Kate Spencer, welcome to Too Stupid to Live.
I'm so excited. I'm slurping tea, so I apologize in advance if those slurps make it into the audio. As a podcaster, I feel like I should be better at knowing not to drink in front of a microphone, but here I am.
Here's the thing. I have like very loud, like I can hear it in myself now. I have very loud mouth noises. Like I'm a mouth noise maker. And like you deal, like I feel like no one notices, but if they do, like, do you know what I mean? Like no one knows it. Anyone who's listening, do you hear my mouth? I hear my mouth noises.
I think it's fine.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, also, we're here to talk about romance, which is like all about mouth noises anyway.
It really is.
So you wouldn't be here if you didn't like want to imagine the sound of a mouth.
I mean, okay, like, has you ever like because like when you say mouth noises, have you ever like overheard or had like a really loud mouth kiss with someone where it's like that's loud? Like,
Yes, and I actually get uncomfortable watching people kiss,
mhm.
especially like famous people. I don't
Yeah.
know. I'm just thinking most recently about like Kanye West and Julia Fox,
Mhm.
and they were like so public with their kissing, and it was always like very like just tongues out, and that
Yeah.
I can like hear it, and it does make me, yeah, a slurpy kiss from somebody else makes me kind of want to gag.
Yeah, it is weird. Like I'll watch it like maybe in a TV show, but yeah, like when I watch a Slurpee kiss in public, I'm like, should I leave? Should we all
Or
just
like
leave?
on a reality show, like I've watched so much Bachelor, and I feel like I get really uncomfortable about some of the kissing.
I hate the making out in The Bachelor. It I feel like I feel disgusting watching. By watch, I mean I've watched it, but I feel disgusting.
Yes, it never is like sexy. It always looks like people trying to do what they think kissing is. I don't know.
Mhm.
It just never feels hot to me. And I am a person who's like wants to buy into anybody's romance or
Right.
relationship, but yeah,
Mhm.
that also makes me squirm.
Yeah, I just feel like I'm watching two people who were told by someone else, like, go make out
Ugh.
over there. And
Ugh.
I like can't, and yeah, but I mean, listen, I'm watching it. So who's really the
They
last one laughing?
they are. They've got you.
Yeah, not me. Yeah. Okay, so how are you doing right at this moment? Right.
At this moment, I am good. We have a new dog in our house,
Mm,
and so she's kind of romping around my office right now, eating the
cool.
carpet.
Oh.
She's a rascal. Like a very good dog, but
Mhm.
she has like kind of rascally energy, like a
Yeah.
rapscallion, if you will.
Mhm.
So I feel like my half of my brain has kind of in the last 3 weeks been like always on the dog. Like, is the
Yeah.
dog pooping and I don't know in the house and I'm going to step in it? Or like, is the
Mhm.
dog eating a thumbtack? That's sort of,
Oh
I'm in
yeah.
that, like, yeah, I'm in
Mhm.
that kind of like weird dog obsessed, puppy obsessed moment. And also she's like a baby. And so she wakes up in the night, and this has
Mhm.
stopped in the last like week or so, but for like 2 weeks, I was waking up, or my husband and I are waking up, 2 times a night to like stand outside with her as she peed. And it was just like, what have we
What
done?
if
Right now, she's really mauling the rug in my office.
Okay.
This
All
is, yeah,
right.
this is aggressive. Yeah.
Well, listen, I do
Excuse me.
give you so much credit because I feel like I used to be a dog sitter, and my God, I mean, I would feel the stress of watching someone else's dog who, let's face it, a lot of the times were very rich, and I didn't want to
Mhm.
piss off rich people. Who does? Um, and
Not me.
so yeah, I totally get like the stress of like it's like not a baby, like human baby or kit, I'll say.
Oh my God. Yes. Yes. You will say, you
Say.
will. I now, someone, I mean, not to just switch right into Ice Planet Barbarians, but
Mhm.
someone was like, I want to talk, like they were mentioning it, and they said something about alien children, and I was like, actually they're called kits. And I
Yeah.
realized like I've adopted the language of the aliens
Mhm.
in my head. Like now I'm like fluent in the strange like translated English of
Mhm.
the Sakui alien tribe. Anyway, we'll get
We'll get
to
to
that,
it.
because that's the other
Listen.
thing I've been up to lately is just
Ugh.
alien romance books.
Oh my God. They're so great. But okay, I want to talk about you first. You
Okay, that's
are
really nice.
first obsession, alien romance. Second obsession, me. No.
Me,
Um,
all about me.
okay. You are coming out with a book soon.
I am. It's a romantic comedy.
That's so
Yeah,
exciting.
it is exciting. It's called In a New York Minute,
Mhm.
and it starts with like a very awkward meet cute, embarrassing meet cute that goes viral. Sorry, that's the dog. Um, and I'm like a very long time lover of romantic comedies, especially movies.
Mhm.
And I'm also a former New Yorker. And I think I channeled both of those two things, like my homesickness for New York City and my love of just like When Harry Met Sally-esque, two people tromping all over Manhattan kind of love story. And that's definitely the inspiration for this book.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's been wild because I'm a reader of romance. And so to get to now like participate in the genre as a writer feels like such a huge honor. Like I'm just so, I don't know. I love romance so much as a genre. And it's been such a healing thing for me. It's such a soothing like form of how I care for myself. And I just like admire the writers in the genre so much. So I'm very like giddy about now I get to be in it. It's been really, really fun. And I really hope like this book is a fun release, like a fun escape for somebody. That's like, that's my biggest dream in writing romance, is that it gives somebody that like good, that good feeling.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Like,
yeah.
Yeah. Right in the center of your chest, that good, like tingly, giddy feeling, like the opposite feeling of when you watch awkward kissing.
Yeah.
It's like it's the exact opposite. And I get that so much from reading romance. And so that was kind of like my dream when I started. Well, I've been trying to write romance for like 10 years, but this manuscript, that was like what I wanted to try to accomplish. So that's my dream.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. I feel like if that's your goal, this book's going to be amazing. You know what I mean? Because it's like why we read it, and like, it's interesting because I was going to ask you, like, the previous stuff that you write are like memoirs and very funny, you get vulnerable, like personal kind of stories. How is writing a romance novel different? Like, it's funny because like you go from like things that people want to escape from in a way, like parenting. I'm not a parent, but I assume, yes. And then you're writing the exact thing that someone wants to escape to.
That's a very interesting question. So I used to write about celebrities. I was like an entertainment reporter. Then I was an editor of a parenting website. And then I wrote a memoir called The Dead Moms Club about my mom dying, or kind of about dealing with the grief of losing my mom. And yes. And so it's very weird to be like, I've written 2 books. One is a really sad memoir that's like also funny because I have a comedy background and my writing tends to be humorous. And then to have to tell people like, but then I also wrote like a real feel good romantic comedy. And like, I swear it's not dark.
Right.
I think like, I will say, I think that as a writer, I enjoy a conversationalist style of writing. And I do think that carries through like humor and the way in which I write. But yes, it was much more fun to write about like 2 people making out in the rain than it was to write about like me crying in an art museum, after my mom died. It's a lot more pleasurable. So this is, I like, as a writer, I would like to have a career that continues in writing contemporary romantic fiction. I don't think I would ever write nonfiction. I mean, never say never, but I think I'm one and done with the memoir book.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's so cool. Like what was I going to ask you? Like, was there like a specific trope of romance that was like, oh, this is what I mean, I know there was like the Harry Met Sally thing, but like the trope behind the trope, if that makes like outside of like, if it wasn't New York, like what's the trope?
Well, I love so many romance tropes. Number one, I also, while I love romantic comedy, I also love angst. Like I'm here for some real angsty romance. I love a dark romance. Like give me a mafia romance any day. For me, in this story, I loved the idea of like a hot curmudgeon, which that's my dog getting a fucking bone off the shelf. Sorry. I love a hot curmudgeon. That does it for me every time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I liked the kind of like a little bit of an opposites attract energy. It was basically, the idea was like, what happens when 2 people meet in a meet cute that goes viral and everybody thinks they're in love, watching their quote romance on the internet unfold when really they like do not get each other at all. That was what interested me. And then of course, like, how do we make those people keep coming back together and falling in love with the backdrop of the Brooklyn Bridge? Now I'm like tingly thinking about it. This makes me giddy. I love romance.
Like, I'm so excited to read it just because like I have friends who write romance that like, you know, we met in the improv scene, but you do come from like an improv background. And then like, how does, is that kind of like the skills you learn in improv like come into, do you know what I mean? Like people, because it's like you're working with a partner in a scene and you have to like listen and all that great stuff. And it's like kind of like that when you're in a relationship and romance.
I think, and I love long form improvisational comedy. That's like the core of my training as a writer. Even though it was improv on stage, I feel like it really has influenced how I think about writing. And the way you perform improv is very similar to how you want to structure a scene in a book. You want things to heighten. You want there to be a real emotional connection. You want it to be grounded. You want the story to heighten, you know, you want there to be an art. So I think, yes, I do think it has been so helpful in understanding kind of how to structure a story, because I'll be honest, like I did not take like fiction writing. I'm writing I learned to write by reading. I learned to write fiction by reading. And when I would get stuck and have gotten stuck writing this book or my next book, I will go to the books I like and use them to like, you know, see what the author does and apply that to writing. This got way off topic, but I do think it is applicable. Yes.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, like going back to, you know, what you're saying about like reading the books, you know, how did you get started in reading romance? Not just writing, but like, you pick up a book. What happened?
So I think growing up, I did not gravitate toward romance. I definitely read like Flowers in the Attic, but I wasn't like the kid who was like reading my mom's romance. My mom didn't read romance. She read like mystery. So I would read like a lot of Stephen King when I was like 11. So the thing that brought me in is my mom died in 2007. And I was so depressed for so long. I couldn't read. Like I wasn't able to do anything. And the first book I picked up 2 years after my mom died that I can remember reading after she died was Twilight, because I was covering the movie for my job as an entertainment writer. And I was like, what is this? Like, what has happened? Who are these actors? Why do they always look like they're about to like jump each other? Like I should just read the book for work so I know what I'm reporting on. And I picked up that book and it was like a spell. I was so hooked. I was so transfixed. I was so just like blown away. And I read, you know, I devoured the whole series. And then I got really into reading Twilight fan fiction. So that was really my first, like the first romance I read was just endless Twilight fan fiction. I've read so much. And like, this is a good time to say where like so many amazing writers came out just out of the Twilight fan fiction writing. There's so many great writers who are also fanfic writers, but specifically so many great romance writers who came out of writing Twilight fan fiction. So there was just so much like good romance in the fanfic world.
Really? Yeah.
Oh, my God. I mean,
do you still read fan fiction?
I don't. You know what? It's interesting. I could only get into it for Twilight. I tried reading some One Direction fanfic. I bet I could maybe get into like BTS. I don't know. I could only get into Twilight fan fiction.
No, I completely understand. Like, cause it's like you read fan fiction about your favorite things, about the things that like really like grasp your heart. And like, it's interesting you say the Twilight thing, because I know so many readers who are like, I first got into romance reading Twilight, and they're not writers, but they're, you know, devour romance novels all the time, all thanks to Stephanie Meyer.
Unreal.
Which, problematic as she is, like, you know, is problem. I mean, there are problems in Twilight, but like, what a like that, and honestly, like 50 Shades, like it's like these things that were have issues, but there were like the gateways into like people like accepting that we read romance, not feeling judged for reading romance, and like looking at romance as like stories.
I read 50 Shades of Grey when it was Twilight fan fiction.
You did?
Yes, it was called Master of the Universe. And oh yeah, I read it on her ice. She was like Snow Queen. She had an ice name, the author,
Okay.
whose name Ella, what's her name? E.L. James.
Yeah.
But yeah, she had a whole website, and I would read it on her website. But I will say, like, after like a year or so of being super into Twilight and being so into Twilight fan fiction, and this also helped me discover like smut and really good sex writing, because I had never read anything like that. And then I went and read Pride and Prejudice for the first time. And that was also like a revelatory experience, because it's just such a, like, I mean, obviously it's like an iconic form of piece of writing and piece of romance writing. And then I got very into reading a lot of the like spin-off books that have been written by other authors.
Yeah,
which are
I
like,
read a few of those.
Like Mr. Darcy Takes a Wife, and kind of like published fan fiction. So yeah, so then I got into that, and then that was just kind of a gateway for me to start reading romance. But one of the first kind of romance writers I was reading was Christina Lauren, who came out of the Twilight fanfic world. They're both very accomplished fan fiction writers, and obviously now mega accomplished authors.
Isn't that awesome? It's so cool. Like just seeing something that like people like look down upon fan fiction writers, and it's like these are the writers of books you're gonna like read one day, you know?
Yes, so many best-selling books come out of fanfic. And I also think fan fiction is such an incredible way to learn how to write.
Yeah.
Like it's so, and there's such an amazing community. That was what really blew me away. I also tried writing Twilight fan fiction. And then I like took it down in a panic, but there was such an amazing community of like beta readers and people who would edit your work. And it was very like moving for me to just see this whole world that existed, like out of a love for like reading and writing and creating things, you know, all based on a book that one person wrote. I just find that incredible.
That is. Did you feel like when you were going through the process of like doing New York Minute, like just did you find that like kind of same sense of camaraderie in a different way? Like I know it's different than like people, you know, writing fan fiction and talking online, but with the process of like putting out a book, which I assume is like a process.
It is.
Yeah.
It's such a process. I felt, how do I say this? I was like very shy. I'm a shy writer, and I'm trying to really make myself get better at this, about getting feedback, because I'm such a people pleaser that it's hard for me to show anybody anything that I don't think is perfect, because I'm afraid of like disappointing people. So I've learned a lot in the process of kind of getting notes and talking to other writers and having them read my work. But there is a real sense of camaraderie, I think, because writing is so isolating, that then when you get to be either with like people whose work you're reading and they're reading your work, that can be very fun and it gets you excited about the process. And then also getting to release a book has been very fun. I've met other authors, and other authors are so supportive, and the romance work, like writing community, is so supportive. And that has been really fun, because you're like, I imagine it's like if you're you're like a ski racer. So on the Olympic team, so you have an individual sport, but then you're a part of a team that is really supportive, and that feels good. That's kind of how I imagine it.
That is so beautiful and timely, as the Olympics just ended, but
they're on my brain.
I know. And you know what's funny? Get ready for this segue.
Okay.
Because
I love a good podcast segue.
In the book we read, there was an Olympics, you know, kind of subplot.
That's right. I did not. You're so right. Oh my God. I appreciate you reading this one along with me.
Oh my God. I love, like, first of all, I mean, I'm going to say that I'm going to say this again and again. I love this book, but I was just reminded of it because they used like the word team, and then you said team, and I was like thinking about team. And so that's why I made the segue into this amazing book we're reading.
Oh boy.
Okay.
This has been, I will say, and I don't want to like, I'm sorry if I'm just like railroading the conversation.
No, I love it. I love it.
But the comfort that this book series has given me has resonated so deeply, kind of just in the way that I find comfort in romance, because I've only been able to basically read these books for the last 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
And this was kind of, I started reading them when like the Omicron variant was surging and everything once again felt full of despair. And this is what I find like so moving about writing about books is like, this author wrote this book probably before the pandemic. She had no idea that like some, you know, like mom in California who was like pulling her hair out would need her books to get through a pandemic. And I just find that like the impact that someone's work can have is very moving to me. So
yeah,
yes, a series about humans who land on an ice planet and fall in love with aliens really has saved me here in this moment of the pandemic.
Ruby, if you're listening right now, I feel like so many people, first of all, you're going to do that for someone when your book comes out.
That's all I want. That makes me, that will, if that happens, that is like fills me with the deepest joy.
Yeah. And also number 2 is that like Ice Planet Barbarians is like blowing up. I don't do TikTok because I'm worried I'll be addicted to it, but it's like it's so big right now. And it's like having this huge, like, came out years ago, but it's having this huge resurgence. And I know she publishes like literally all the time, but like, yeah, I feel like these books really are escapism, but I also feel like they are like indicative of like what maybe women want as part of their lives. They need something more than what's around them on Earth. So they have to go to like a different planet where you need to restart society with people who will listen to them. You know what I mean? I have no idea what I mean.
No, I know what you mean. And because there is stuff woven in, and especially now that I've read approximately like 30 of her books about these aliens, I can see some things that, hold on, I'm sorry. I'm just going to help my dog get outside. Can she do it? Hold on one second.
Yeah, take your time.
Oh, she did it. She made it through the dog door. I think she's carrying like a bone and she was confused.
Oh, it's hard to go through a door and carry a bone.
It is. I can't do it. Yeah. Like you can see, and you've read a fair amount of these. Am I right?
Yeah, I've read about like 5. So I'm definitely 5 or 6. Yeah.
I've read so many.
No, oh my God. But here's the thing. My sister-in-law has read all of them.
That's
so
right. Okay.
When we were like, because like when I was like, oh, I'm reading an Ice Home, she caught me up and told me everything. So I was like, oh, thank God, because yeah.
So like I've definitely noticed the author, and again, I don't know, I don't want to like make assumptions, but this is my guess. Like it is kind of an idealized world. Like the aliens, okay, they're all hot. They love giving cunnilingus, but they don't know that blowjobs are a thing. So anytime a human one's like, I love blowjobs, they're like, what? This is a thing that humans do? Sexual assault does not exist in their world. Right. So these heterosexual aliens are inherently, quote, safe, which, you know, as we exist in our world, that's not the case with men. Yeah. And so there are these things kind of woven in where I'm like, oh, and also most of the aliens have essentially a tiny dildo above their penis, which stimulates the clitoris of the human women. So it's like, she's created this very satisfying world that these women have escaped. They've accidentally, or not accidentally, they've all been kidnapped and brought to this planet. But yes, it's now a place where like they had to leave their old lives and now they're like fully free to be themselves.
Exactly. And here's the thing. Here's another thing I like about all the barbarians, and I realized after this book, is that they ask questions. You know what I mean? They ask the woman questions, and that's the sexiest thing.
Yeah. Well, they're also literal.
Galaxy.
Like
yes.
they're also they don't have irony. Like they just don't. They're very humble, but yes, they do. They ask questions and they're just very straightforward. So there's no like game playing with these aliens either.
Mm-hmm.
Also, half the aliens are virgins, like
right.
because there's
no women. Or
no, they've lost all their women.
Yeah.
So many of the aliens are just like these sweet, hot 30-year-old virgins.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's a true fantasy world.
Oh, it really is. And like, again, I think about this all the time, but I feel like there's an important theme about being willing to like adapt in these books, because literally the women have to adapt to a new planet and they do an amazing job. Like it's astounding, which obviously they have to do because so the sex is good. But seeing the barbarians adapt to these newcomers to their planet and not having any sort of like prejudice or anything, just welcoming them in and being willing to learn, like that. I mean, we need more of that on Earth.
The aliens are very vulnerable, I think is like they really are. Yes, it is such a like, now I'm saying all this out loud, I'm like, oh my God, this is why I've gotten sucked into these books. But there is, and the thing with all the books is that they all follow the same pattern. So, in every single one, you're going to get kind of like an open-minded, vulnerable, very like welcoming alien who's very hot. And then like a human woman who's just trying to like make her way.
Yeah.
Figure out how like, this is hard, but she's going to make it. And actually like her true calling is here on this ice planet.
Yeah. And like, well, speaking about getting vulnerable, I should read a synopsis of what book we read.
Okay.
So the book we read was Devi's Distraction by Ruby Dixon. It is currently $3.99. Okay, here's a quick synopsis. He may be from the Strong Arm clan, but Nadek feels weak by having to rely on other people to get around. When he decides he must find a way to be mobile on his own, he needs someone smart and undiscriminating to make him a prosthetic. And when the beautiful and intelligent Devi is eager to help, she gives him the tough love he needs. And lucky for Devi, Nadek gives her the undying love she deserves.
Oh my God. That sums it up. Yeah.
I don't know what else to say. It was this beautiful, quirky, in like this very cute story in a world where like the least cute stories happen. You know what I mean? Because there was just like so much going on in terms of like life or death situations for these people, but to just have a cute story was nice.
It was really nice. And I will say, like, I've read so many of these and some I like more than others. And I actually really enjoyed this character of Devi, because she's a scientist. She's like so excited to be on this planet because she's discovering all these new species and putting things together. And I found that it just was a really nice touch to a character. And she's also a real problem solver and, helps Nadek, who's missing a leg, helps him create a prosthetic. Then of course and he's like, very angry and depressed from losing a limb. And then he finds joy again and, finds his footing, pun intended. I'm sorry. Oh, it also should be mentioned that he has 4 arms. I just want to make sure.
That thing. The 4 arms.
Remember, he's from the Strong Arm clan and they have 4 arms.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So seeing someone with 4 arms, I'm sure at first might be like, wowza. It seems really nice after reading this book. Like, I can see why someone would be into someone with 4 arms.
To give some history on this planet, there's the main tribe in the Ice Planet Barbarian series are called the Saqui, and they only have 2 arms. They have tails and horns, but they only have 2 arms. In the Ice Home series, they introduce new like adjacent alien species. And so these strong arm people are the 4 arms. They're basically the same as the Saqui, but with 4 arms.
Yeah.
I had a hard time getting excited about a 4-armed alien. I don't know what it was. I was just imagining like, how would I feel if somebody with 4 arms was like holding me? And that kind of freaked me out. I'm sure you would adapt because you're just like, well, I'm stuck on this ice planet.
Exactly. Like, I feel like there's a lot, like you could multitask times 2 in a way that like is hot, like.
Yes. Well, yes, Becky. I mean, this is what the hands are for.
Yeah. It's like you're having a 3-way, but you don't need to ask another person. You don't need to have the awkward conversation of asking another person to join.
Like, now that you say that, that makes me change my mind on the 4 arms. Because you're right. I mean, and there is like, that does come up with the 4-armed aliens where it's like, oh, it's 2 of his fingers were here. And then blah, blah, like that. They're very capable with these many hands that they have.
They are. And tails. I mean, I'm just going to go into it. We get some tail action and I loved it. I mean, I loved it.
Does she rub his tail? Like, what is the tail action? Again, these have all blurred for me. Yeah. And I'm finishing one right now where the woman is obsessed with her alien's balls. So
nice.
That's where my brain is at.
Okay, so you're in the ball zone.
She's the first one who's like, I love these. I mean, it's a little bit much for me, but wait, what is does she rub his tail? Because the tails are sensitive.
His tail goes in between her legs.
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go.
And that was fun because I had read a previous book, it wasn't Ice Planet, it was different alien on Earth, and his tail like double penetrates her, which is like a really hot scene. So now I'm like, I think I like tails. I think I'm into tails. Am I a tails person?
You could be a tail person. I mean, this is like the true joy of getting to read stuff like this, where it's like, it's just fun. It's just fun to get to let your brain go off into this world where, and maybe people have been reading like science fiction and fantasy for, hundreds of years. For me, this is like new and exciting. I don't want to sound like I've just like, I'm the one who discovered alien books, but there is something that has really like swept me up and stuff like that, where it's like, oh yeah, you're going to wrap your tail around her leg to like flirt with her. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Give it to me.
Yeah. It's just like, I feel like when I like first started reading these books, I was like, there's going to be an end soon. Like, I read the first book and it was like, all these women are going to find their mates, series done. But the universe that Ruby Dixon has created, like, it's kind of like, yeah, of course there's going to be a volcano with 4 more clans. Like that's, and pirates and all this stuff. Like it blows my mind. Not just with like Ruby as the writer, but with like a lot of writers who just keep having ideas that take place in the same like universe. I'm just like, your brain is amazing.
I cannot wrap my head around it. Like I think, have you read all of like Sarah J. Maas's books?
No, I haven't.
Like that, those two, like the worlds, anytime an author creates a world like this, where they can keep generating ideas in the world, just astounds me. Yes. And she's done a really incredible job of kind of like, I don't know how she keeps track of like, well, these aliens speak with this affect and these aliens speak a little differently because, and it's a lot. It is a lot to have to remember as the author. So I am truly impressed. And I feel like, so often romance books don't get the accolades they deserve. And it really is like incredible world building that she's doing. That's a massive skill.
Yeah, absolutely. Like this is like, I was, a while back, like watching Star Wars and like, I was like, oh, there has to be someone who like works for, the Disney who's like an archivist of all the Star Wars stuff, like of all the planets and this and that. And it's like her universe, I feel like is just as like massive and like specific, kind of going up against Star Wars a little bit. She must have like a huge marker board in her office just with everything written down. Because like, yeah, it's so vast.
Can you even imagine? Like truly, I could not. I had a hard time keeping together, like in my book, In a New York Minute, which is like, it's 2 people and they each have like 3 friends each.
Right.
and like there's some parents and you know, like they go to an office and then they go to like a restaurant. Like it's not nearly as in depth. And I had a hard time keeping track of all this stuff. So I would actually love to know her system for kind of staying on top of this and also creating it. Like, how do you, at what point does your brain just be like, I'm done. I've done enough. It's over.
I don't think so. I don't think that exists for her. I don't.
No, because she has so many other books.
Oh yeah.
I mean, she's got like, it's nonstop books coming out of her brain.
Oh yeah. Okay. So now, like, you got into alien romance a few months ago. Has it crossed your mind to write one on your own?
No. I couldn't. I don't think I could I don't think I could create a world like this. I don't think it's my like strong suit as a writer. And I'm not saying that to like knock myself. I think it really is a skill because you have to create like, what can these aliens do? What can they not do? What do they eat? What creatures do they not eat? Who's a predator? I mean, it's like endless creation. And I would personally rather participate as a reader than try to create a world. I also enjoy contemporary romance. Like, I don't think I could write, you know, like fairy fantasy romance, but I love reading it.
Sure. Yeah.
But never say never. I mean, who knows?
I mean, like, yeah, that is true. Who knows? Because I'm always like, I've never written a romance. I tried to write erotica. It was really hard, in more ways than, and anyway, and I was like, I was like, this is too hard. I'm never going to do it. But then people are like, well, you should write one. You like do write and you read it. And it's like, true. All of the parameters are there. I'm not going to do it because I just enjoy reading them.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, I do feel like we are in this, like, there's something about our culture. I don't know if it's new right now where it's like, oh, I enjoy doing that. I enjoy this thing. I got to turn it into like my side hustle or a business, as opposed to like, I'm just going to enjoy it and not have to participate in a way that becomes work, you know?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
So
yeah.
I think just because you love something doesn't mean you have to then take it upon yourself to make more. I think we can also just be enjoyers of things.
Isn't that wild? We can just enjoy things. Like, I need to be reminded of that.
Well, I mean, it's very hard I mean, truly, not to, you know, I sound like a Twitter bot, but like, you know, capitalism makes it very hard to just think of anything as like something to just enjoy, because we're always like, it's always about like production and I'm saying this, fully realizing I've talked about how I love romance and now I'm writing romance, but hopefully there is a difference. But yeah, it's hard for us just to enjoy or have a hobby that doesn't then need to become like something bigger.
Right. Yeah. Well, like I feel like, you know, we're looking at romance subgenres, which is like an entirely different thing. And I think it's so interesting that you want to write this subgenre, contemporary. But right now you're gravitating towards the most crazy genre that is now. It's not the most crazy, but it is up there.
It is. It is. You know what? That's true. And I normally only read contemporary. I never thought I would read anything like this.
Yeah.
But I also think as like a student of romance, I still learn so much reading these books. Definitely learn how to write a hot sex scene from these books. But there is something, maybe because it's new to me and I never thought it would be of interest. I felt that way with historical too. I never thought I would really be into historical romance. And that has also been really fun to read.
Yeah.
Do you read historical?
I do. Right? I read all sorts, like, because like, you know, for the podcast or for like when there's like a really, people are like, oh, you got to read this. So I don't have, well, my one thing that I gravitate towards is always romantic suspense, but I'm like, if the book's good, I'll read it. So I never remember authors. I just remember sex scenes. It's weird.
Romantic suspense.
Like kind of like mafia romance.
Oh my God. Okay. Have you read the big like well, you're not on TikTok.
I know. I need to get on TikTok. Every time I open it, I'm in bed for 5 hours straight.
I know. Book Talk, to me, I am enjoying getting recommendations on Book Talk. Actually, my babysitter was over last night and she was reading The 7 Lives of Evelyn Hugo. I think that's
Oh,
what it's
yeah.
called. And I was like, are you liking it? She's like, yeah, my book talk was just obsessed with it. I was like, holy shit, like here's a 19-year-old getting like fully influenced by TikTok and her books. But
yeah.
I learned about mafia. I had never read mafia romance. Okay. I had read it in Twilight fan fiction. There's mafia Twilight fan fiction, but I had never read it standalone. And I got very into, and mafia fan fiction. I mean, mafia romance is dark.
Yeah. Like, okay, I read one mafia romance before, and it was like the guy was, it was like, I guess I would describe it as kind of mafia-esque. Like the guy was tangentially related, and in the end, they're free of whatever. I recently watched The Sopranos, and I was like, or like rewatched it. And I was like, oh wow, like mafia, like they're so terrible. When you read it, like how close to The Sopranos are like our most mafia romances, given that I've only read one and it was very, very not at all.
Okay. I read Cora Riley's Camorra Chronicles, which I fully was recommended via Book Talk. It needs like, every book needs 1,000 content and trigger warnings. There's sexual assault, there's regular assault, there's language that made me uncomfortable, like misogyny, like just stuff that if I encountered in my own personal life, I would not be okay with. But in the story of this mafia family, I was into the books, and they are, I mean, it is violent. They're violent. And like the men are like all basically, sociopaths, but yet I was, of course, like fully in love with all of them.
I mean, that's the thing. Everyone loves Tony Soprano. Everyone loves The Godfather, and we're all rooting for them.
And I think mafia romance is a pretty big genre, which is another thing I didn't really realize.
Yeah, I didn't realize either until like we're in a book club together. And so like when people were talking about it, I was like, yeah, it's crossed my thing. Like I was kind of like, oh, it's motorcycle romance. It's this kind of romance. And then it was like, oh, if it's on Book Talk, oh, mafia serious. I got to get into and see, because I feel like there are people who are vehemently opposed to reading mafia romance. And then like there are people who are not.
I mean, it is really interesting. And I kind of, as I explore more like the world of like Kindle Unlimited and, there are people writing really, I don't know what the word is, not controversial, but there is a romance book for everyone out there.
Yeah.
And it's, authors are tackling some taboo stuff. And it's interesting to me. Like I'm fascinated that there is truly like a book for everybody.
Sure.
At this point,
yeah.
Like a book that's going to scratch whatever itch you have. Someone has written it.
Oh yeah. I mean, listen, Ruby Dixon wrote The Ice Planet Barbarians, and I think we as a society have a scratch for it. I need to write, like if I were smart, I'd write like a whole philosophy book about the Ice Planet Barbarians if I were smart.
I mean, it is fascinating, like escaping Earth, especially right now where you're like, oh boy, it is really kind of going to hell in a handbasket here. Like,
yeah,
what if I did end up on an ice planet? And all of them have to grapple with like, well, my old life is dead. Actually, there's one character who is a writer, and she was kidnapped by the aliens right before her book was about to come out. And it was going to be turned into a movie. Yes. I mean, Ruby Dixon has had to come up with like 30 to 40 different human women who have to have these backstories. And yeah, there was one that was like, I was about to like make it on Earth and have this massive success. And now I have to let go of that dream and those expectations. Look, Ruby deals with a lot of stuff in these books.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of like, what's the thing? A sideball, when like a pitch that's out of, what's the baseball metaphor that I'm thinking
out of bounds? No, it's a ball.
Yeah,
it's not a strike. It's a foul. It's
something like, just like, it's like you get off course a little bit. Like life hits you. I can't. Someone's gonna listen to this and be like, Becky, you're a fucking idiot.
So many good metaphors, possibly here.
It's yeah. So, and I think like sometimes you get thrown off by your course, and then you just have to go back to basics and rediscover who you are. When one door opens, another ice planet. I mean, when one door closes, another ice planet.
When one planet leaves the galaxy, another galaxy appears. It also there's very convenient things that happen on the planet where everybody's able to survive. Like it,
yes.
And they all just kind of vaguely wear furs.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, how does the clothing really work here on this ice planet?
Yeah. How do they not it sounds like they all wear cloaks of furs that are not fastened and they're just walking, and it's like, how do they not fall off when you're spearing animals?
And they time? These aliens are very kind of primitive. Like they haven't really discovered the wheel. Like they're just, they're very basic, but then there's also some very technologically advanced aliens and other galaxies that, again, she's created this massive world that just keeps going and going.
Yeah. Yeah. It's absolutely fascinating. And I feel like just going back to this story, we have this massive world, yet I feel like this was probably one of I've read a few, but this felt so much more of an emotional story than maybe the others. 'Cause it's about asking for help, putting your pride aside, setting boundaries. I feel like there was a lot of those things that were kind of took priority in the plot, as opposed to there's a monster coming after us from the sky.
Which there are kind of, I find, some of these are better than others in terms of the story and I think I thought this one was really thoughtfully done.
Yeah.
And it felt like a real emotional connection between these two. We should clarify that one thing that happens on this ice planet is that everyone has something called a qui, which is a parasite. I mean, it's like you explain this and people have got to be like, what the hell are you talking about? But basically you get this little magical parasite inside of you, and that determines your mate. And you have something called resonance, where you and your mate finally click. And then it's like, whoa, we are so horny for each other. We've got to make babies and keep this planet going. So wait, where was I going with this? Okay, hold on. Let me backtrack. Okay. What I liked about this is that these two people had an emotional connection. It wasn't just their little parasites telling them we need to bone. It was they really helped each other and were non-judgmental with each other. And then from that, a romance blossomed. And then of course they resonated with each other.
Yeah.
And resonance means you can't keep your hands off your partner.
No.
And that's that's just explosive sex
all
scenes.
4 hands off. Well,
I forgot about the 4 hands.
All 4 hands can't. I mean, good for him. He kept all 4 hands to himself.
Yeah,
it's it's interesting. This book, we're making it sound like they're so horny, and they are. They're so horny. They're nonstop horned up. But we don't have them. They are both virgins, and we don't have an actual sex scene until past 50%, of the book. It's a lot of heavy petting. That's hot.
Yes. A lot of them have just heavy petting. I mean, especially with his 4 hands. But yes, I find that really fascinating too. And also the aliens don't have kissing. So every alien is introduced to what they call mouth mating.
Yep.
And so that's always fun. So yes, there is often kind of a slow burn through the bases in some of these books.
Yeah.
Especially in this one too.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's just it's interesting. I don't want to say that they're kid-like, because that's not the right word. But they're just new to something, and they're just exploring and learning. And I feel that is kind of childish, childlike, you know what I mean? They're just I don't know, they're just excited to explore. Like they're not set in their ways. And sometimes, exploring is letting a woman go down on you. Other times it's kissing. Other times it's like learning the word fuck, like it's so fascinating to me.
Well, there's also like a shame freeness to these books, not shameless, but like there's not a lot of like judgment or shame, and there's not like the aliens aren't modest, so like there's a lot of body acceptance, which is interesting to me. And like there's just kind of like this openness to discovery and play that these aliens have. That just allows for everybody, like nobody's embarrassed,
right?
Because they've never like kissed anyone. Some of the aliens are like 40-year-olds who have never kissed anybody.
And it's like not a big deal. Then no one's like, oh my God, you've never kissed anyone. It's interesting because I feel like Devi as a character like almost was like close to the barbarians in a way, just based on her fascination. Like I feel like she was like one of those kids who used to look at bugs, and then she became like a paleontologist, and now she's here and she's just like, her brain is going a mile a minute, while at the same time I think she does she does miss her family, but the way she just embraces this intellectually, that made me love her character. And I can see why she felt like of course she would resonate with a barbarian. Like, of course, like within seconds she would get along with one.
Yes. And she never really was quite connecting with the other human women, which is also an interesting challenge. Like it is kind of like a reality show where you just like get thrown in a house and you're like, I don't know if I'm going to be friends with these people, or some of them are best friends and I'm not connecting with them. And so she has a hard time connecting with people. And so to kind of find this in an alien who like supports her scientific curiosity, it just was a really good one in this series. I just thought this was like so well executed.
Oh, it was. When like, so there is like this like, pun intended, climactic ending where they have to like build to some sort of like exciting thing. So she wants to explore fossils, and there is a guy who Nadek is very jealous of. What's his name, Sabren or something?
Yes, Sabren, who's also been hitting on Devi.
Exactly. Yeah. So he says, Devi, I want to show you something, and it is far out into the woods or whatever. Did you think that he was going to like abduct her? Because he acts nice to her and is like, you're my friend, blah, blah, blah. But Nadek gets so jealous. Like, were you worried that Bren was like going to be bad news?
Well, kind of, because there are a lot of like plots with some of these aliens where they like kidnap their mates. Like this is when you get into kind of like the area of like, oh, this is problematic. Like I'm, there are some moments, and this series is not without its things that I would describe as problems, like anything, like anybody writes, but I was kind of like, oh, I don't want, like, let's just leave this guy out of it. You know what I mean? Like she doesn't, I don't need this worry.
Exactly.
And then there's like an animal that comes, right? And attacks them. Well, he is just showing her fossils. Sabren's a very innocent alien, and he was not trying to be devious in any way. But then of course some alien comes. Not alien, sorry.
Or like monster, like whatever. Yes. Yeah. And of course Nadek with his prosthetic saves her right away. I feel like resonance happens always at the right time. And they resonate for each other. And it's just like, it is this beautiful ending, because like, like in the epilogue, I thought the epilogue was so sweet, where like he makes like their hut very close to the beach, and every morning they get up so she can explore all of the animals, and it's just the sweetest thing.
Like he really saw her, like he really respected her passions and like found ways to support them.
Yeah. Isn't that wild?
That is what I liked most about this specific book, is like this alien felt like the most emotionally developed and emotionally available of the aliens, because some of them are not completely emotionally available.
Mhm.
You know, like they
Yeah.
take a minute.
Yeah.
But this guy felt like he was in tune with what his partner needed. And he was
Mhm.
really there to support, not try to take over, not mansplain or
Mhm.
alien splain, I guess, if
Yeah.
you will.
Mhm.
But just like he just nurture her passions. Like
Yeah.
I just thought it was like it was one of the most charming ones.
Oh,
I
yeah.
loved it.
And he asked her questions. Like, that's the thing. Even during whether it's
Mhm.
sex or whether it's science, like he was like legitimately interested in everything about her, which was like you really can have it all when you're stranded on an
Ice planet.
on a barbarian ice planet.
Yeah, you really can. I mean, this is the aspirational side of this book. It's like,
Yes.
if I was only on an ice planet, you know, ... I'd meet an
Yeah.
alien. I'd get to like
Mhm.
focus on discovering weird fossils.
Mhm.
Yeah,
You know
there
that,
is
yeah.
that. Yeah, that fantasy is there. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say there's also like a scientist fantasy because it's like Devi's gonna write the history of this planet. Like she's gonna write the first book.
Yes.
That's which is like the coolest thing.
Doesn't she also have scrolls where she
Mhm.
writes stuff? There's another character who likes to write stuff down,
Mhm.
but she's just keeping like stock of inventory. But yes,
Right.
Devi likes to write. Like she has scrolls that she like
Mhm.
writes stuff in. Like I love the idea of these women adapting.
Mhm.
This is another thing that I think is kind of interesting is how, like, what if tonight, Becky, you were kidnapped
Mhm.
and tomorrow you fucking woke up on an ice planet?
Mhm.
You know, like there's no toilet paper, there's no podcast equipment.
Mhm.
Like, what do you do? There's no books, there's no TV,
Right.
there's no music. You really do have to like, I would be in a state of shock for at least 6 months.
Me too. I would be the one having the hardest time.
Yes, the
Like
panic attacks.
yeah, I would be the one who's like everyone complains about, who is whiny, who who like I would be
Becky's crying again.
yeah, they're like, oh god, she's so emotional, like, and she's so whiny, she always needs everything. But here's the thing, I finally realized, like, they discover something that is the equivalent of coffee in this book.
Oh my God, yes.
And that's the thing. That's when I realized, oh, I think once I discover coffee on an ice planet, then okay, I'll try.
I mean, that truly, I actually have to tell you, would give me anxiety reading these books, being like, how are they living without coffee? Because I'm so addicted to coffee and I use it
Same.
to self-medicate
Mhm.
that I couldn't, that would be the first thing. I would have a splitting headache on the ice
Mhm.
planet
Yeah.
without my coffee.
Yeah.
Yes, when they discovered that like shrimp shell that has a caffeinated kick. I was
Yeah.
like, thank God for these women. They now have their coffee.
Yeah. Oh my God. I'm okay. We are the same person in this respect right
Oh.
now. Like first thing when I get up, I just am like coffee, coffee, coffee. And like,
Yes.
yeah. And yeah, I'm glad I'm not the only one who
No, my
addicted.
psychiatrist wanted me to go. She diagnosed me like initially with like ADD. And then she wanted me to go to this clinic and do like very extensive testing to get more
Mhm.
information on my brain. But part of the requirement to do the testing is you can't drink coffee for 3 days before because coffee is a stimulant.
Yeah.
And like, I do think I use it as a stimulant
Mhm.
and I couldn't do it. Like, I couldn't, I finally told my psychiatrist, I was like, I'm never going to go because I can't not drink coffee for 3 days.
Yeah.
And that's just where I'm at, that I would rather
Mhm.
choose coffee over, figuring out my brain.
I get it. I get it. You know
I love
yourself.
coffee.
I feel like I would get a migraine too. And then also like I feel like coffee is the thing that glues my brain together. And
Yes.
like I just like need that brain glue. In order, if you want me to survive this ice planet, first thing I would do would be to find a coffee situation. First thing.
Yeah. And so that would be the most like, you're stranded. It's cold. I truly,
hate
I don't,
cold too.
I
hate
do
cold.
too.
Yeah.
I do too. I would hate this ice planet. So I have to admire these like Devi, who's just like, I fucking love it here. Like I'm
Mm-hmm.
discovering all these strange creatures and I'm looking, like I'm cutting them open and seeing how they work. And she's so curious. And I too would be the person like sitting around the fire weeping.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be like excited about learning how to hunt. I would just be.
I'd still be thinking, how do I get off of here? Like, I mean, I know it's been years since they've been there, but it takes me a really long time to just adapt and be happy about things.
Yes. I truly like, I mean, obviously this most likely could never happen, but it is something to think about. Like if you are in a true fish out of water situation,
yeah,
how would you handle it? / how would you then handle it too if you were never going to mate with another human?
Yeah.
But you were now. The one thing I will say about this planet is that there is no like LGBTQ community, and that kind of drives me nuts.
I did have noticed that too.
Like all these women are conveniently just straight up plain heterosexual. Nobody's even like bi-curious. None of the women are hooking up. Like, come on, you know?
Yes. Yeah.
None of the aliens are gay. I would love some more diverse representation in that regard.
I agree. Like, it's interesting because I remember in the first book, like there, you know, like is it Harlow? Whoever narrates the first book, she's like,
Georgie,
that's it. She's like, we're all 22. We all don't have lives. Like it was just like perfect abductee. Like it's like these aliens who abduct them are like, we're gonna be like as courteous as possible to which humans.
Yes.
The most convenient humans.
And that kind of got dropped.
Okay.
Like that seems to not be the case anymore because it was like I had nothing to live for on Earth. Like all my family was conveniently dead and I work in a job I don't enjoy.
Yeah.
Like I guess I'm here, but then I think that's something that the author maybe moved on from.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
As more humans came to the planet.
Yeah. Because like it's like
I
not
noticed that
everyone. Too. Yeah. Because like Devi was the first character who was like, oh, I miss my Nani. And I was like,
yeah.
Oh. But then like in the end, it just is accepting that she's like, you know, if Nani were here, she'd be happy for me.
That I did get weepy. There's a few ones like later on who miss family members, like sisters and stuff like that. And that really, like, then I start really thinking about my own life. Yeah. And I would be really sad if I was never going to see my family again because I was kidnapped and brought to another planet. Again, I know this is not going to happen, but
yeah, I mean, there's no
about it.
There's no proof it can't, you know, like what
if this is happening?
It could be now? And we don't know because it's all taking place on an ice planet.
I mean, that there could be a whole world that we don't know about where something like this is going on.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, yeah. Oh my gosh.
It feels good to get this off my chest because I don't know. I feel like I've been like so into this world, and to get to actually just talk about it feels good. It feels like a release a little bit.
That makes me feel so much joy because I like I have insomnia and all I think about are the Ice Planet Barbarians. Like, and it's all I think about as I'm trying to fall asleep. And I just like think like I'm really into just alien romance. And I feel like this was the most in-depth conversation I ever had about the Ice Planet Barbarians. And it was just so joyous for me.
I'm so glad. Well, I also think, there was a time where I probably would have been not comfortable telling people that I was reading, 30 books about alien human romance. And I do feel like learning to love and be like proud of whatever it is I'm reading has been very like a empowering part of getting older. And I think like culturally the younger generations aren't as shamey about what they think is quote good and not good to read.
Exactly. Yeah. Cause like there are still some people, well, I haven't seen them in a while or like met any of these people in a while. We're like, oh, what's your podcast about? And like, you mean like trashy books? And it's like, well, you find sex trashy then? Like, are you?
I can't. That stuff makes me so mad. The way people treat this genre, which is like FYI the best selling genre of literature.
Yeah. It's like a third of your friends are probably reading a romance novel right now and not telling you. Like,
Yes.
I don't know. The math doesn't add up, but I know I'm right.
You're right.
I'm
No,
right.
it does.
Okay.
It adds up in my brain. That makes sense.
Okay, good.
Yeah. It really does. Yeah. But I think it's good. I think like talking about these books, and that's why your podcast is so important, because it does give people space, not just to like celebrate, but to also feel seen and what they love to read. And I think that's really powerful.
Oh, thank you.
I
I
love it.
truly believe society needs to redefine what a book is. You just do it one dumb I mean, I say this because my podcast is called Too Stupid to Live. You do it one stupid podcast at a time, you know? I'm not putting myself down. My podcast does have the word stupid into it.
It does. And it's tongue in cheek, if you will.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I totally tongue in cheek. Tongue in other places too. I'm so sorry.
Tongue and tail.
Tongue and tail, tongue in a spur.
Oh, the spurs.
Oh, those spurs. We all should be so lucky. I mean, if you're a straight woman. Or
yeah, I mean,
it's
just like how convenient that these aliens were built for their bodies to manipulate pleasure out of a human woman's body. Like,
yeah.
It doesn't make any sense, but that's fine. Like,
it
doesn't need to make sense. I don't care.
Yeah. I mean, and it's just like, it's also, isn't science amazing? Just science.
Yes.
Okay. I am going to ask you for, your final thoughts on this book and then also a rating. So we were talking about shrimp shells earlier. So I'm going to ask you to rate based on shrimp shells. 1 out of 10 shrimp shells, the worst. 10 out of 10 shrimp shells, the best.
I'm going to give this one 7 out of 10 shrimp shells.
Okay. Why the minus? Or you would just
3?
Yeah.
Well, I would say if I'm ranking it in the world of the Ice Planet Ice Home books, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. This is one of my favorites that I've read. I would say putting it in the grand scheme of all the books I love, I'm going to knock it down a couple notches.
Sure.
But
I get that. Yeah.
But this is a highly rated recommendation. And I will say, I do think you can kind of step into these books as standalones, even though they're part of a massive series. So if you just wanted to like dip a tail, so to speak, and try this one out, I do think this is a great one to kind of start with because it's just really a smart, well-written one that I enjoyed.
I agree. Well,
so, I'm going to up it to 8 out of 10 snail shells. Not snails, shrimp shells.
I was like 10 out of 10. I'm a nice grader though. And like, I feel like in the Barbarian series, this one was like one of my favorites. Like I've only read 5 or 6, but this one, one of the best. And I have to read the other ones. I know there's like 20,000 more and what have you. This one was my favorite so far.
I love that. That makes me so happy. I love that because this one really stuck with me. I've read more since, and honestly, because there's so many, I forget them. Like not everybody resonates with me, if you will. But this one really, they stuck with me. Devi and Nadek really, they're still with me.
Oh, may they always be with you, Kate.
Thank you, and also with you.
Thank you so much. And thank you so much for being a guest. This was so much fun.
This was a blast. I'm so glad we got to do this. Thank you for having me and inviting me on to talk about my own book and this book. I'm truly, what a pleasure.
Oh my God. I have a list of people that I've always wanted to ask, and you were like top of the list. And so I'm just,
That's so nice. I'm so glad. And I'm glad we get to book club together. Although I'm going to miss our next meeting because I have to go.
Okay. Yeah, it is all good. But okay, remind us when your book comes out. Or it might already be out when you listen to this. But yeah, when tell us about.
Okay, so my first novel, my debut novel is called In a New York Minute. It is a romantic comedy, and you can get it anywhere books are sold. It comes out March 15th. And you can find me on Instagram at Kate Spencer, or you can check out my podcast, which is called Forever 35. That's also wherever you get a podcast.
Very good. Thank you so much, Kate.
Thank you.
Too Stupid to Live is part of the Frolic Podcast Network. For more podcasts you'll love, visit frolic.media/podcasts. Thank you so much for listening, and have a great rest of your day.